like to introduce Professor Souza, Director of Medicine Course and Vice President of Escola da Saúde da Universidade do Minho. Alves, Professor Souza is the coordinator of Neuroscience Investigation Domain in his institution and of Portuguese Medical Schools Council. Please welcome and take 4 minutes for your presentation.
So I actually was thinking why I was invited here. I'm very thankful and honored. Maybe because I'm a good friend of Ivan. Then I thought maybe not. Okay.
You know, in America they say that you have to keep your friends close to your vest, your enemies
closer. That's it. That's what I do. Thank you, Ivan. Okay. Then I thought, why not to share with you what I do every day. I'm not a pathologist, okay? And you try to figure out why I came here. Okay? I still don't know. But that's no problem. Okay. This is not the right one. Okay, this is the right one. So, I did neurology and I do neuroimaging, and the process of learning of these skills is basically pattern recognition. Okay? So, if I try to show this to a medical student, what do you think he will do? That's the best he can do, kill himself. It's impossible for a medical student to cope with this. Okay, it's probably also impossible for you, right? Okay, that's how I feel about pathology. No. So now what if I told you that, okay, can you tell me if this is an intraparenchymal or extraparenchymal lesion? Maybe extra, right. I fully support you. It seems to be somewhere here. There's a, but by the way, this is a MR imaging. Do you think it's important to tell the students this? Do you think it's important for them to know? Absolutely. Do you think it's important to know if it is a T1 or T2 weighted image? Yeah, it is. It is. Because this is a T1. Now, by the way, the anatomy here is much better than in this one. But that is not the point. The point is that the sensitivity is much higher here than in here. Okay? So what I'm trying to tell you is, as a clinician, that's what I do every day. So I try to figure out why I ask for exams. Why do I want to talk with a pathologist? So I will tell you what I do every day. So a woman comes to me with evidence, okay? So what do you think in my mind is the critical question? Exactly, how long? That's a critical question. That's the difference of someone who has experience and a chicken. My students are chicken peas, but they do much better than I do in exams because they follow every step of the process. So, wow, there's something wrong with that because we are assessing them into something that we actually don't do. So the critical question is this: how long? That's a sudden answer. So now what? Tell me what you would do. I don't want you to fall asleep. By the way, sleep is not bad because you can really be thinking on critical issues. Okay, tell me, now what? So now you have a woman, 42 years old, with sudden onset of headaches. Intensity. Quite intense. Spread. Tension. You see what you are doing? You are following a pattern that is what we do every day in medicine, is to run on deductive, probabilistic knowledge. That's what we do every day. Okay? So, why don't we teach like this? Okay? So, which exam would you ask? Yeah. Would you ask an X-ray? Would you ask an X-ray? No. Ultrasound?
No.
Sorry, Ivana?
Neurologic examination.
Neurologic, no, I mean imaging. Because I have the images here. You're right, absolutely.
Yes.
Sure, no. I cannot take through all the process, okay? So give me an imaging model for this woman. Which one would you choose? Sorry? CT? Why CT? That's the right answer. Why? I don't care. What do you expect from the CT? Yes, you may. Okay, first critical thinking is, does she have a lesion or not? Is it organic or inorganic? Right. Imagine it is organic. You want to see if there is any type of hemorrhage. Okay? So for that, the CT scan, yeah, the CT scan is the highest sensible method to do it. So that's what we do. Okay? That's it. Okay. Can you see the lesion? You see what I'm trying to say? Yeah, I can see, you cannot, that's not a problem. So, but do you think a medical student should see the lesion?
No.
That's the point exactly. You see my point? We are in the room, I don't know, half of us are physicians. I'm trained in this, okay? There's an aneurysm here, okay? You see what I'm trying to tell you. What matters is that the student, for me, what matters is that he can cope with the story of the patient. He can ask the right questions. He can perform the neurological exam. And he can ask the right exam. And then refer, if needed. Okay? It's up to me, as a neurologist or neuroradiologist, to cope with this problem. Okay, let's move. Okay, and then we can discuss about this with them. Now that we have engaged them into this. Okay? It's another 42-year-old man. 42-year-old person, I'm a man. Because I don't want to be sexist. By the way, it's much more common to have recurrent headaches in women, but okay, by the way, we have to teach the students that by knowing the age and the sex, you can eliminate so many things. Well, so that's okay. Now what? Which hangover? I don't give you any other information. So, but the question here: do you think the CT would be important here? Not really, exactly. Some are saying no. Yes, exactly. So the right thing to do after many other steps, by the way, many other steps would be to ask for an MRI. Okay? And this is a brain tumor, a neurocytoma, incredibly rare. How many residents actually can do this diagnosis in neuroradiology? Very few. So what I'm trying to tell you is that, yeah, there's things for medical students, things that are appropriate for residents, and that's it. And we have to know these limits. to actually teach what is relevant. Okay? And then you take the Seixas. Okay? Another one, same page. Yeah. And CT and gatherism. What do you think it's different from the other one? From the previous, the first subject? It's the worst headache. So most likely the aneurysm has rupture and you have blood. Okay? Is this common? Is this critical? Yes. So now the student must interpret this result. You see how I deal with what is relevant or not. Okay. So now we ask the CT, and here it is the CT. Can you see the blood? Yes, you can. You see the difference? Yeah. Okay, you can feel it. Okay, you see blood in the subarachnoid space. Yeah. So tell me now, what do I want the student to tell me? I want him to anticipate the problems from now on. What are the problems now? Absolutely. So, otherwise, there will be intracranial hypertension. Most likely, there will be hydrocephalus because there will be not renewal of the CSF. Okay? And this is critical. So, I want my student to know because if he has hydrocephalus, we must put a check. And this is something that we cannot waste time. Okay? So, you are very good students, by the way. I will take all of you in the med school. Okay, and then I want them to know that they should ask for angiograms, blah, blah, blah. Ok? Não consegue entender?
Não consigo ver nada, imagina, CT, nada. Patologista. 40 anos.
You just need to spend 2 weeks with me, okay? 2 weeks. You must give me 2 weeks of your time.
Eu vou fazer estágio.
Okay, okay. So,
My students would not know exactly what the difference between different X-ray modalities. When do they learn that? You teach them while they go on?
absolutely. I will give you this example now. I will come back to the first image. Okay? So now this is the same tumor. This is a T1. Without contrast, with contrast. Okay? So now I want to ask the student, why do you ask for contrast? And I have to explain why does he give the contrast. And I want him to tell me, would you explain this to the patient? Is it safe to give the contrast? Blah, blah, blah. Okay? In this particular tumor, it's critical to do diffusion. What do you know about diffusion? I love physics, okay? I'm totally on physics. What do you know about diffusion? Have you ever heard about diffusion? Yes. Okay, so what do you know? So now I will explain to you as if you were 5, okay? My hand is a molecule of water, okay? What is the probability of moving in any direction of the space? Equal, okay? Doesn't matter. So now imagine that Jeff is the tumor. Okay, can you put your hands like this? Okay, now I'm the same water molecule. What is the chance that I move in this direction? The same as before, but not in this direction, right? So we call this restricted diffusion. Okay? Does that seem incredibly difficult for you? So you see, that's what physicians love, to use fancy words but not to explain the concepts. So now that you know this, tell me, does it have increased restriction or not? Yes, exactly. look to the fourth ventricle, that now you can see, the water moves all around. But here, within the tumor, there's inability for the water molecules to move. So that tells you what?
That's really dangerous.
Exactly. There's lots of cells there. Wow. Small extracellular space. That's it. Okay.
He has dense cortex.
Absolutely, Philip. Again, I will take you as my student. You are most welcome.
How do the students react when they learn something as simple as this?
How do you react to what I've told you? Did you like it or not? Oh, come on, say it loud. I didn't came from Portugal yet. Did you like it or not? Even the person that just got in enjoyed it. That's why she got it. Okay.
But I'm trying to analyze why did you like it? You know? And one of the secrets of being a popular teacher is to teach 80% of the stuff that they already know. So they knew this, but it was suppressed by their previous knowledge. So you just brought up the needed knowledge that they have.
We never discussed this, I think, but I truly believe that education is building on inhibition. That's it.
Uninhibited.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Maria Teresa.
It has a lot of names because it comes from fat.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would have to explain why to give contrast, because the barrier is broken and the contrast goes and stays there exactly, and the signal goes up.
His model was good.
Okay?
That was actually.
Okay, so now you ask me, why are you involved in pathology? And I will say I'm not. I'm involved in pathophysiology. That's what I've been interacting with you. Okay? So that's what I think it's really critical. That's critical thinking. Okay? As you know, I come from Portugal. We have fantastic wines. And that's how I feel about life. Life is good, okay? So don't waste time in trying to memorize stupid things, okay? It's much better to drink Merlot, okay? So do it. Okay. Second part of what I do. So I do a lot of research in neuroscience. And why is that of relevance here? I will try to show you that if we understand the way we organize the knowledge, think, decide, we might help the students. Okay? By the way, I will never say to you that one model fits all. It does not. Okay? So I have students that hate the way I teach. I have students who love the way I teach. Okay, that's no problem. What I would love is that the students that don't like the way I teach move to places where they can find the way they like. Okay? So that's the best we could do for medical education. To let people rotate and find what they like. Okay. So, by the way, this is the hospital. Okay, on the other side of the med school that I will show you later. And this is the clinical academic centers. So it's cool to have a department in the hospital where I just do clinical research. So let me tell you a bit about decision making. So we do things because we want or because we are used to do that. Okay? So one thing is I do something, so the association between an action and a reward can be driven by goal-directed behaviors, so I do it because I want, or just because it's an act. Okay? So in the brain, the areas that get active are different. So this is the cortical striatal circuit that rules action outcome directed by goal. And this is the cortical striatal network that operates when we do things because we are used to do them. You got it? So please note that not only this, okay? In humans, this is the caudate network and this is the putamen. Okay? keep this in your mind. It's the only two words that I want you to keep. Okay? So when I'm doing a decision, I want to know whether I'm using this because I want or just using this because I usually do it. And many people talk about stress and how stress could impact on this. Okay? Let me tell you something ordinary. I live in Porto and I have to go every day to Braga. Okay? So Braga is north from Porto. So when I was going there for the first time, what do you think I was doing? I was paying a lot of attention to what? To getting there. So I could not release my mind to anything else because I wanted to get there. I want to turn right when I need to turn right? After 10 years, what do you think I do? I get in the car, engage first, get to the light, and I'm off. The car takes me to Braga. Okay? Is that good or bad? My students say that because then I have half an hour that I can think what to do with them. Okay, it's wonderful, huh? When I had to teach my kids how to brush their teeth, I said he would look at me. You see, that's how we actually release the brain. Okay, sometimes I have to go to Lisbon to ask for money. Money is always in Lisbon, okay? Which is in the south part of the country. So, what do you think can happen to me if I'm stressed? I get in the car and I park in Braga. And then I go, oh God, it's not this way. So I've wasted 2 hours, I've wasted a lot of money, gas, blah, 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 blah. Just because I'm stressed, okay? So I will try to show you how this happens in humans. Okay. So here you have a group of controls. And here you have a group of stressed individuals. As you see, they perceive stress as stress. We ask them to come to the scanner after fasting, okay? For 12 hours at least. And then they could get chocolate juice or tomato juice if they press the right lever. At the beginning, they actually didn't know what to do. And so the two groups are exactly the same. But with that, everybody got to know what to do. Okay? It's a simple task, so you associate it simple. So when I contrasted the high probability with low probabilities, it's area 9 prefrontal cortex. When I'm contrasting what people learn versus when they didn't know nothing about it, look, it's prefrontal and the cortex. So this means that these guys were pressing the lever to get chocolate because they wanted it. You got it? Okay. So then we did something funny. So we took them out of the scanner and we gave them as much chocolate as they could eat. It's a very expensive experience, as you can imagine. When they said, I cannot see chocolate anymore, we put them back into the scanner. And look what happened. So these are the controls. They didn't press. So they devalued. There was no value anymore. But the stress individuals could not do, and they activated the program. So in other words, individuals under chronic stress kept pressuring because they are habitual. They keep doing it. Whereas people that are not under stress, they realize, why should I press? I don't want any more chocolate. Okay? So this is what changes in your brain when you are taking a decision. And I think it does matter for the way we choose, for the way we organize our thoughts and the way we learn. So, and as you know, humans typically can retain 7 digits for some seconds. I will give you 7 digits, okay? 55 877 0552. Can you repeat? Okay? Some people said 8 digits correct. Okay? So you see, this is what we call short-term memory, immediate memory, if you want. Okay? I'm also a believer that you need memory, otherwise you have troubles, okay? Look at the Alzheimer people. Okay, can you repeat the digit now? Okay. Sam said 5 digits. But I've heard a lot of people saying the first 2 that are. You see, immediately there were people in the room that associated 55 with the fact that it's a phone number, most likely in Brazil. Okay, so that's cool. So you release your mind. So 55 is automatic. It's not memory, it's an association. You got me? By the way, the other 7 numbers are my cell phone. Okay. Now that I told you it's my cell number, you would like to do med schools in Porto, 1 in Coimbra, 2 in Lisbon. 12 years ago, there was a new medical school here in Braga and my medical school in Minho. Okay? Later on came up a med school in Algarve, just for graduates, and another one here in Alves. Let me tell you that as I'm the dean of the med school in Minho, and they asked me to go to Alves to assess that medical school. And I went there, and it was pretty bad. And I asked them if they were willing to change, and they said no. So we said, close it. And that's what happened. I think this is really important for you also here in Brazil, okay? By the way. Okay, so my med school receives 120 students, and then we have to receive 18 plus because they have already a degree. Okay? It's a different program, a 4-year program. I will not discuss this with you. This is the med school. Are you tired by now or not? No. Okay. Okay, so what shall we do? I'm doing this for you, Maria Teresa, because you asked. Okay? This is on demand. So, what is our mission? Why do I exist? I'm a physician and I'm a teacher. Why do I exist? Do you know what I tell the students the first day they get in? Welcome, colleagues. We are here because of the patients. Okay? And that is very, very important. So we have to always keep that in mind and to figure out that students are people, different people, everybody learns in different ways. When you receive your new fancy video machine, what do? Some people like me plug in and we try to push every button up to the moment it starts working. My wife will read the instructions for 2 days. Okay? Fortunately, we have healthy kids. Absolutely. We have healthy kids, Ivan, as you know. And either my daughter or my son would say, okay, maybe we can read a couple of pages and then we can turn it on. So, what does this illustrate? That different people learn different ways. Okay? If I was going to jump from parachute to jump, I would jump and then think away, oh, problem, I should have read that book. Okay? Others would never jump because they are still reading the book. It's the same in medicine. Okay? So we have to compromise. So one side does not fit everybody. We have to compromise, and we have to admit that some students like it really fast, they will be surgeons. By the way, others will be very reflective. They can be... Sorry? No. They will be internists. If they are slightly obsessive, they will be psychiatrists. Okay? Do you know the joke, by the way? How do you distinguish an internist, a surgeon, a psychiatrist, and a pathologist? Oh, Okay, so the surgeon does know nothing about it, but he solves everything. Okay, the internist knows about everything, but he cannot solve anything. The psychiatrist doesn't know anything about anything, and he cannot solve anything. And the pathologist knows about everything, and he solves everything, but he arrives always late. Okay, so this is the way we are trying to tackle issues in medical education at Minho. So, different organization, a lot of interplay. By the way, this I think is critical, and I really enjoyed the last session because there was a lot of interaction at the research level. I think that the research is the way good institutions will be sustainable in time. Okay? So I don't think it's a problem to have fantastic research. It's great to have fantastic research. By the way, I also believe that good researchers typically will be good teachers. Okay? The other thing I think is critical, you have to really assess everything you do. And I mean everything you do. Because this will provide you the evidence for you to shift, to adjust. It's not being, it's not being inquisitive. It's not to say that I'm better than you. It's just to compete with myself to be better next time. Okay? And this means that we have to ask people to go there and to let us know what we are doing. And the other thing I think is critical is that we must affiliate with many institutions. It's not good for students to be only shaped in one institution. Okay? I did that. When I finished, I had to go to the army. One day I had a problem and I couldn't cope with it. Simply because I couldn't, the guy had bronchitis with an infection to the head, small village in Portugal, nothing special. The first thing I do was to take arterial blood and I ask for blood gases. And the nurse tells me we don't have. And I panic. And then I say, hey, what shall I do? And he told me, why don't you auscultate the patient? And I did. It's the same way. Okay, so it's student-centered, not faculty-centered. So this is critical. It's not for the teacher to be the main actor in this movie. Okay? Main players are the students. So when people ask me, what do you think about your class? It was good or not? I say, I don't know, ask them. Okay? By the way, if it was a good class, it's because of you, because you interacted with me before, okay? Okay, that's really critical. It's integrated, so we must talk to each other. And by the way, let me be really humble here. We did this because we start from scratch. Okay, I think it would be impossible to do this in an old medical school. I'm sorry to say this, but that's my feeling, and I have to tell you what I believe in. It's outcomes driven, and we are permanently assessing the students, the faculty, the program. Okay? So our students take exams every 4 weeks. Okay? That's it. And the exams are integrated. So it's not only about knowledge, it's assessment of skills and assessment of behaviors, attitudes, professionalism. Okay? It's community based, there's a place for humanities, and this is critical also. There's place for electives. Let them choose what they want. Okay, it's really important. There's core knowledge that everybody must have, but there's also opportunity for you to build your own curriculum. And again, I'm very proud to say that we have almost 40% of our students engaged in the research, in the biomedical research. And I think that's critical. Okay? And I will tell you a little bit more about this later. Sorry, you cannot see. This is the study plan. What I want to highlight here is that you cannot see anatomy, you cannot see cardiology. By the way, you can also not see pathology. So curricular units are multidisciplinary. So yes, I would ask you to come with me to teach about infectious diseases together with other clinicians, together with microbiologists. And because we do this together, we actually design the learning objectives together and we assess it together. Yeah, come on.
My course is integrated.
I know.
Okay, and I have
That's why I'm saying this to you, because I know you do the same. Okay? And this is the operations, okay? So what I'm trying to tell you is that assessment is absolutely critical. You know, I still have quite good memory, I think. I still remember when I was a student, the only thing I was concerned with is how will I get a good score in this exam? So in other words, if the exam is not good, who cares about the teaching? Okay? So focus on excellent assessment. If you do that, then your students will, okay, these guys are telling the truth. So this is really critical. So let's do this the right way. And this will give you data that will allow you to adjust permanently. Okay? And this is all about performance. So in other words, this is what typically faculties of medicine focus on, knowledge. Because it's also easy to do an MCQ, blah, 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 and it's to know the facts, you know, the bottom of the pyramid. I have no problem with that, because that is critical. That is what I call necessary for you to move forward. But then you have to embed this with skills to become a competent physician. And by the way, this is not good enough. Because if you do not have the right attitude, you will never be performant. Okay? So I don't want to be observed by a physician that knows about everything but he cannot function. I don't want to be treated by a physician that cannot establish empathy with me. Okay? So that's critical role. But I don't want to be, for sure, observed by a physician that talks a lot, seems to be a nice guy, but doesn't know nothing about it. That's definitely the physician that I don't want. By the way, those, we try to keep them in the first year. So our failing rates in the first year of a 6-year course is 25%. I have no problem with it. Then the failing rate is less than 2%. Yeah, we filter them, no problem. Okay, so it's a web-based course, so everything is in the web. That's really critical. Also to interact and to have this type of interaction with the students. And what I want you to know is that typically people learn in different steps. So this is typically a multi-step process. At the beginning, the first thing we do is we introduce, we present them with the objectives. And as others have said before me, they know a lot. They really know a lot. So if they know it already, why to waste time in being redundant? Okay, let's explore what they know, and let's ask them what they know, and say, okay, because you know this, jump to that session. Okay, don't waste your time. Okay, one size does not fit all. Then they have to learn, and to learn means that they have to do. So our role is not to teach them, is to help them, to guide them, to motivate them. Okay? That's the critical role of the teacher, to be a role model, by the way. Okay? Then there's a moment in which we want to know if they actually know. So we sit the entire class all together, and they have to share what they have learned. Okay? And my role at that moment is to figure out, okay, there's a group of people here that actually don't seem to get it. So I prepare special tutorials, but just for them, because you all get it. So why should I ask everybody to attend? It's a waste of time. Okay, and then the critical step of assessment. This is how it looks 1 week. This is what they can download, so the entire course is available. Okay, so now, are you still with me? How much time do I have?
13.
Sorry?
13 minutes.
30? Okay. So, I want to discuss with you and to share with you my view of preclinical science. Why are they important? Okay? So, those in the room, there's only people who have tried to publish in in what I think it's a curse, but nevertheless, high impact factor journals. Typically, we will get this fast reply, hopefully fast, from the editor saying, oh, you do not give us the mechanisms. That's what basic science is all about, is to understand the mechanisms. So I think that this is really critical. What I think is missing somewhere here is that, okay, the goal, the long-term goal, is to transfer these concepts from basic science to medical practice. Okay? So, how is this done? In a traditional view, I teach anatomy, you teach microbiology, you teach cardiology. We don't talk to each other. Okay? The new reality is that researchers, by the way, do understand this much better than clinicians. I'm a clinician, okay, I have a problem, so and they actually invite a lot the clinicians to go and to teach along with them. The other way around is not typically seen. So it's very rare to see a basic researcher on a clinical class helping the students in this interaction. That's what I think is critical. Okay? And the beauty of pathology is that, yeah, you can be somewhere in the middle, because you belong to both sides of the battlefield. Okay? So, what I think is critical in physiopathology is this. You understand both languages. I typically say that knowledge creates bridges, culture unites people. So it's culture. Okay? Okay, there's a lot of things that sometimes people have, detractors of this view will tell me all about this. Okay, it's too many things. You do not cover all the topics. Why should I have a basic scientist? Why should I have a physiologist in my cardiology surgery session? Okay, it's not true. It's critical to have the person from radiology, the person from physiology, the person from pathology. Because at the right moment in that decision algorithm, there's the need for people to intervene, jumping. Okay? And I've told you about this. Okay? So I think that there is a misalignment in the way we see patients and in the way we teach students to become physicians, which is really stupid for me. I'm sorry. That's really stupid. Okay? If I see patients in this decision algorithm, deductive, probabilistic way, that's what I want them to learn. Okay? When I see a patient with anemia, all my students know, okay, anemia, causes for it, either the patient loses blood, doesn't produce, or destroys. Okay? If they know this, okay, now let's discuss. Tell me, how can you see that he loses? How can you see that it does not produce? How can you see that it destroys? And then, okay, why doesn't he produce? Okay, let's bring other people. By the way, that patient was on a new drug. Oh, okay, the pharmacologist had jumped. Okay? Okay. Sorry. This was being told much better than I said before. I want to highlight this. I think that what preclinical people think, and I see people saying yes. By the way, I always have problem in Japan, because in Japan they say yes like this. I really feel frustrated. Okay, but not here. I feel over here, okay? Is that, well, if you attend a surgery class, I'm telling you, sometimes you have hard time because the surgeon. I had one professor that the only thing that we point was his hands. Oh, these are my hands. These are my hands. These are my hands. That's the only thing we've learned. His hands. Okay, so we have to change this, and this must be changed by introducing evidence into critical maths. So that's why I think relays the challenge for practical science. Okay, integration is not enough to be horizontal, it must be vertical, and that's what I've been trying to show you here. Okay, let's give examples of what I've been telling you in the last 5 minutes, right, Ivan? Okay, so first concept, curricular areas. So at Minho there is no disciplines. By the way, there's no departments. Okay? This is. So this is. Sorry? Some people are, and there's one good thing that I managed to write there. You can only be boss twice. Then go away. Okay? The faculty is a team. You must engage into clinical relevant objectives. So, why to teach two coronary arteries? All cardiologists will talk about transversal disease, right? Yeah, of course, because if you block the beginning of your left coronary artery, you are dead. Okay? So these are the type of concepts that I think are critical. You should respect that the way this is a process. So many people do it fast, others are slower, no problem with that. So you have to respect this. And you have to embed this by asking clinicians, come and tell the students why it is relevant for them to actually learn this. I wasted the first 3 years of my medical student career trying to figure out why I was there. Suddenly I went, in Portugal the fourth year is the first clinical year, it used to be, and I went to the wards I was really looking nice with a white coat, stethoscope. Now I feel what I'm about. And then I should have learned that before, but no one told me that it was relevant. Okay? And I still remember the percentage of Inca that had that stupid bone somewhere in the train. Because I missed that answer. Okay? So, in the third year, we have introduced this curriculum unit called biopathology, followed by introduction, community medicine, and clinical medicine, and again option programs. It is organized in modules, doesn't matter. It has always clinical fronts engaged into it. These are the different topics that I covered. There's a waste of time for you. But now I want to discuss this with you. Okay, so now another example. So, do you agree that ischemic heart disease is important? How many here are physicians? Okay, we have a lot. Okay, guys, so that's what we have told the students in the first basic sciences courses, right? You all cope with this. Okay, so now tell me what's wrong. Everybody said it was relevant. You know the other joke? Radiology Congress, one of the guys at ischemic heart disease, what did they shout? Call a doctor. It's exactly. So this is a supra ST, okay, and you must see that it's on the right coronary artery. Okay? So, next step would be to ask for enzymes. So, opening by blah blah blah, okay? So now I want to discuss, as I told you, anticipate. Okay? Anticipate with your student what's wrong. What might be wrong with this patient? He might develop heart failure. You want to see it? Okay? Do you know, by the way, that the cardiologists cannot hear the sounds anymore? Because they do what? Echo. Okay? So they don't hear anymore. Okay? So what I'm showing you now is an echocardiogram. Can you tell me where did I put the sonda? So this is a 4 apical view of the heart. So it must be here at the apex. Okay? By the way, it's a waste of time to teach so much anatomy if you do not show to them this. That's what they will see. By the way, I only saw a living heart once in my life, and it was just a tiny little bit of the right ventricle. So this is the real life. Okay? And this is the question that I want them to solve. Where would the patient move? Okay? This is the normal, and this is the normal line. So ejection volume, telediastolic pressure. And they have to think where you move and what is the treatment, cardiac rehabilitation to avoid this. Okay? So by the way, those were the questions of the exam. The real questions. Okay? By the way, that was to a second year medical student. Okay. Hepatitis. That's physiopathology. It's a problem. That's the different types of problems. That's the people I invite. Okay? This was the problem. It's in Portuguese, I'm sorry. Okay, and I don't have time to go through all this. But the critical issue is that we discuss the signs and the symptoms, and then based on that, we will dissect all the process. Okay, learning objectives. The other thing that is critical is that the students must acquire skills, okay? And if you remember, a skill must turn into an habit, okay? You all know about it. You are pathologists, you have to cut specimens. When you go for holidays for 3 weeks, the first one that you cut, you seem to be rusty, yeah? Okay? So it's a skill. Okay, pathologists might keep it for longer, I don't know. But I can tell you when I'm doing intravascular treatments, I feel it. My hands really do not operate like this. So students must repeat all these skills, train, learn, train, and retrain, up to the moment they become experts in that skill. And that must happen during the pathology course, because pathology is part of medicine. It's not independent. Okay? It's the shan't. Okay? But if they are not, if you do not tell them that, they will forget. They will not understand. Okay? So, and I love this, I must tell you. We cannot see our students in all those hospitals, so high fidelity simulation is free. Here, I will show you better. Okay, we have discussed this. Technology. As Ivan said, another critical piece. So, these are things that we do. These are things that we work a lot. Critical decision problems and to build the decision algorithms together with the students. Okay? So I want them to learn that, okay, a patient has diarrhea. First question will be, do you wait alone or do you wait during the night with diarrhea? These are the types of critical knowledge that they must have. And we have developed a platform for exams in which we put images, videos, interviews, lab work in a dynamic way. So they evolve the same way as I showed you before. They can hear the sounds. So every 4 weeks they will do this type of exams, including type of small OSCE, mini OSCE. At the end of the course, they will have a final integrated exam in which we try to shift from level 1, level 2, level 3, that Barrow's pyramid, to application and analysis. So that's what so one thing is the student knows the fact, or the student can correlate something. The other thing is, can he use what he learned to solve the problem? It's completely different, I'm telling you. Completely different. And this is what they have to do. And by the way, attitude assessment. So if they do not reach a certain level, even if they have, so in Portugal we score from 0 to 20, even if they have 20, in all of this they will fail. If they don't have the right attitude, bye. Because many people were talking about books. I will tell you what we do, at least what I do. So I think that books are personal decisions, okay? If someone asks me to buy a book, I want to buy the book I want. Okay? So what we give the students is lots of information about websites together with questions that typically they immediately understand that by reading the web question, by reading websites, they cannot solve. And when they realize that, they come and ask us for books. And the typical question is, what is the book that I should read? And my answer will always be, try this, this, and that, and then figure out the one that suits you better and buy it. By the way, they read. Okay, we have to assess everybody. This is the new role of the teacher. I think this is critical, okay? The teacher must be a role model, basically. Everybody must be assessed. Assessment is an incredibly powerful tool for you to get better. I don't care if the others are better than me or not. By the way, I love that they are better than me. Okay, I don't have time for this. I just want to tell you that we have created an MD PhD program together with Columbia, New York, and Jefferson, and Philadelphia. And basically the students do the first 5 years, they have to do summer rotations with us, and then they go on a PhD, and then they come back to finish the MD. Okay? That's basically it. The other thing for the students in the room, including some of these students here, we have electives, and you are all most welcome in Minho. You can have some fun there, and let's make science really relevant. And because if you do not do this, others will do it for you. Thank you very much.